Life gets in the way sometimes, and that's okay. After 36 years on this planet, I've learned this lesson the hard way. You make plans, you set goals, and then things go sideways. Except you don't end up drinking wine with Paul Giamatti.
I am not drinking any fucking Merlot!
Okay, relax, Miles. Jesus, no Merlot.
This video is just a reminder for me, and maybe for you, not to be too hard on yourself. This is normal. It sucks, but it's normal. And sometimes the chaos can teach you something. Or as the Foo Fighters would say, it's times like these you learn to live again. Damn it, Dave Grohl, don't cheat on your wife. Anyways, I just want to rant about my autoimmune disease. I spent a few days in the hospital recently. I was in the hospital. Not my first time, and yeah, it's not entirely a pleasant experience. Although I will say, being on hydromorphone, amazing! 10 out of 10. I understand why you can't pick up this stuff at the Dollarama, because oh my god, opioids. My autoimmune disease has been flaring up again. Specifically, I have autoimmune pancreatitis. It's when my immune system goes full goblin mode and attacks my pancreas for no reason. Imagine a bad stomach ache that escalates into 4 to 5 hours of the worst abdominal pain of your life. Then you get to spend the next 2 days with no appetite, feeling like your body got hit by a truck. Full recovery takes about a week, with rest, fluids, and rebuilding your diet. So yeah, randomly losing 6 days every month. Painful and inconvenient. My first bout of pancreatitis happened back in early 2015. Just a one-off, or so I thought. I was fine until late 2016 when it started happening more often with no clear causes. I got hospitalized, scoped, tested, and finally saw a gastroenterologist. In early 2017, I got diagnosed. 2 months of meds later, it went into remission, and it stayed that way until recently. More on that later. My pancreas and I are fine, and there's no long-lasting damage other than having a silly immune system. On top of that, I also have a rare STAT3 gene mutation called hyper IgE, so I'm collecting immunoglobulins like they're Pokemon. IgE used itchy ears. It's super effective. The problem is that there is no it factor about what triggers a flare-up. Typical causes of pancreatitis are gallstones and chronic alcohol use, neither of which I have. I do have fond memories of going to parties and getting sloppy drunk with the boys, but in the past decade or so, my alcohol consumption has been minimal. I don't have to drink to have a good time. Nobody has to drink to have a good time. I mostly avoid it for my health. It messes up your sleep, loads you up with empty calories, and lowers your inhibitions just enough to say yes to the 20-piece chicken McNugget meal at 2 in the morning. I love me some 2 a.m. chicken nuggets. Also, just like the films of the same name, hangovers get worse as you get older.
Control yourself, man. God damn, will you put on some pants?
Other benefits of not drinking often means that when you do have a few on special occasions, you get a solid buzz from less, and you just cruise for the night. Being in a crowd of drunk people lets you be loose anyways, because you understand the vibes. Just be smart, drink responsibly, or don't. Listen to your body, and don't go overboard. Your liver will thank you. What's frustrating is that even breaking down my condition and lifestyle in excruciating detail to gastroenterologists, their advice is often just, it's fine, come to the coast, have some drinks, have some laughs. Like I'm living in Die Hard. Meanwhile, the standard recommendation for pancreatitis is usually complete abstinence. Since going into remission, I've had some casual drinks on occasion and have been fine. However, the uncertainty of, is this gonna explode my pancreas? Maybe, has made me err on the side of caution. Based on how little and how rarely I drink, and the timing of my symptoms, alcohol doesn't seem like the trigger, but I can't rule it out either. ChatGPT made this idiotic graph for me, but if I had to be honest, I put myself there, or here, wherever I edit myself. Flaring up during periods of sobriety has made this all the more perplexing. My current working theory, stress. Every flare-up I've had lines up with a specific stress trigger, usually some combo of acute tension and background life anxiety. I had a flare-up while grinding on the latest FD Signifier video I worked on. Go watch it. I had a flare-up the night that Trump was elected the first time, which is a sentence I can't believe I'm saying. My most recent flare-up, let's crash the global economy with tariffs. So yeah, I just blame Donald Trump. You hate Trump because of his draconian policies. I hate Trump because he gives me pancreatitis. We are not the same. Also, I might have just seen the new DaVinci Resolve 20 beta, and all the new AF features are both exciting and terrifying. Mentally, I can handle stress.
But my body's telling me
No.
G.I. Joe.
All this to say, I don't know when I will flare up and why. I've had it happen twice after getting the COVID-19 vaccine on separate occasions. And I've had all my shots. So is that a factor or not? Like, what am I gonna do? Get COVID-19 and have that fuck up my immune system even worse? Seriously, vaccines are good. The lack of clear cause and effect rattles around in my brain. That's how it goes sometimes. Life's random. You can be fine one week, and then the next week, death. The treatment for this condition is 2 months of taking a medication called prednisone. And I hate it. Not as much as I hate pancreatitis, which is why I'm taking it. Prednisone is a synthetic cortisol steroid that mimics your body's natural production of cortisol. It suppresses the overactive immune response so it doesn't go full-on kooky crazy bananas. I think of it like cortisol, steroids, a lot of it. This isn't the anabolic, getting jacked in a lot of muscles kind of steroids. But are there side effects? You betcha. Increased appetite, weight gain, water retention, mood changes, anxiety, insomnia, muscle wasting, and a weakened immune system. Like, I never get colds, and I caught one a week after starting this medication. You can kind of hear it in my voice. That's my cold. It feels like a kick in the ass when you get on the drug, but after 2 weeks, you have to start tapering off. And since your body is trying to adjust to all the cortisol whiplash fuckery, you end up just feeling shitty for a few weeks. The last time I was on it, the side effects created a negative feedback loop where I ate uncontrollably, gained so much weight, and felt awful for a few months. So why am I ranting about this? Spending any amount of time in a hospital forces you to confront your mortality. I shared a room with a woman who had Lewy body dementia, and that experience put a lot into perspective. I swear, if there was a law requiring every politician to spend a week in a shared hospital room before running for office, we'd never have to worry about healthcare funding again. Time moves differently in the hospital. You're half asleep when they wake you up at 5 a.m. for blood work. The lights never fully turn off. The noises never really stop, but you pass out eventually, not from comfort, just from sheer exhaustion. You spend hours lying in bed, waiting for doctors, for nurses, for 3 rounds of hospital food, juice and jello in my case. Maybe you get a visitor, maybe not. That's your day. And sure, you have the internet, but even that gets boring. You can't fully distract yourself forever, so eventually, you're just left with the situation and yourself, and you have to deal with that. If that doesn't humble you, maybe your ego is as big as the sun. It's wild looking out of the window down at the street. There are people outside living their lives, and they have no idea what's going on in here. And what's done in here is meant to serve that society, maintaining human life, even though we're all gonna die. We know that. We like to pretend we're not, but we will. Either way, we persist. And that's the miracle. If you think about how chaotic your mind can be sometimes and then look at society, it's remarkable that it even functions at all, which is something we all take for granted. The miracle is that we persist despite it all. We adjust, we adapt, we discover hidden truths about ourselves, and maybe even happiness. These are some of the reflections I had while I was in the hospital. Hospital thoughts with the Zats Man. I was in the middle of writing the next video for the channel when shit hit the fan. One of my goals this year is to be more consistent with making videos, and it hits differently when the interruptions aren't the usual internal self-doubt bullshit, but actual external stuff outside of your control. Whatever you are doing or whatever you are working towards, life gets in the way. And that's normal. Sometimes it can be minor things like family events, friends, and basic life commitments. Other times, it's an autoimmune disease flare-up. I like staying healthy, feeling good, maintaining a solid physique, but now I'm on medication that might mess with that for a while. Things get in the way. Bicep. Tricep. Bicep.
These are the muscles of my body.
What I've come to believe is this. You can take these moments, learn from them, and use them to reevaluate. Adjust your path. Rethink your priorities. You can always bounce back and rewrite the narrative that you're creating for yourself. Whatever your adversity is, that is your adversity. Objectively, I'm in a better situation than some, and in a worse situation than others. But outside of gaining a little perspective or humility, those comparisons don't help in handling that adversity. Instead, it becomes another comparison trap. Whatever you're going through, you can't deny that, reject that, or minimize that. We all have our difficulty sliders. Finding silver linings matters. It opens up a whole realm of possibilities. I can't party like I used to with the boys because of pancreatic anxiety. However, limited drinking and borderline abstinence forced me to learn how to have fun on a night out without alcohol. I could always experiment with microdosing some very legal in Canada substances to get a good social buzz going for some special occasions. I could do that, you know. Possibilities. I'm recording this on 420. Since I'm back on this medication, I've been researching its effects and locking in my diet to avoid the weight gain I dealt with last time. Limiting all the excess salt and sugar. There's so much salt and sugar in everything. I've just been eating like peppers all day. It's so good. It comes from the earth. The earth. Ah. Whole foods. Improvements to the diet plan are always welcome. Lastly, this experience has motivated me to get out of my comfort zone a bit with the style of videos that I make. When I script videos, I often find that the initial idea branches off into another idea that I write out for a bit until I return to the original idea. To be honest, it's mostly an added layer of procrastination and resistance to finishing projects. This time I thought, hey, why don't I do the branch off video? This is the branch off video. I'm pretty self-aware when it comes to this whole YouTube thing. You think? As it's something I'm passionate about. So making a shorter video like this that isn't in my usual style or that I perceive as not super marketable is scary. I'm thinking, oh, I should be putting more time into something else. And I'm beginning to see how that mindset stops me from doing anything worthwhile. It's perfectionism. Again. And it's stupid. Everything you do builds on itself. If I don't push myself outside of my comfort zone by making different sorts of videos, I'm not gonna find that optimal flow as a creator and make entertaining yet sometimes thoughtful, silly stuff for y'all. If I can't share things about myself, be real, and write about things that I care about, and it's like, why am I even doing this? Why does it have to be perfect? Why am I stopping myself from exploring these creative avenues? Internally and externally, why don't I ask people for videos they would like to see me make? Why don't I make the Patreon? Self-limiting beliefs don't stop at 30, folks. They just keep chugging along. I'm gonna take off the suit jacket. Fuck it. See that? I'm just wearing a t-shirt. That's all I'm wearing. Alright, took off the suit jacket. Now the suit jacket is over there. Zatzman Unleashed. Just to be clear, I'm not abandoning the old style. I'm just gonna make a mix. It's about creative freedom. It's about creative freedom. Now I am free, like the bird. Speaking of birds. Lately, I've been using cold turkey to block the internet and do free writing in the morning instead of going online. And honestly, it's done wonders for my self-image and self-insight. Would recommend. Helps with reflection. Eventually, you deal with enough setbacks that you figure out how to deal with setbacks better. It's like a meta skill. An older version of myself would have been derailed by the events of the past few weeks, but through building up that tenacity, through dealing with setbacks over the years, with solid habit building and mindset shifts, now I only get a little derailed. We're all works in progress. Don't be too hard on yourself. Life gets in the way sometimes. You'll bounce back. That's what I got out of this whole experience. Or as the Foo Fighters would say, is someone getting the best of you? Well, yes. My autoimmune disease. Autoimmune diseases suck. Ah.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life, nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life, fresh goes better. Mentos freshness, fresh goes better with Mentos. I'm losing my mind.
Mentos, the fresh maker.